You see us, Assassin?
YouTuber there.
YouTube, we are? Okay. Let me just... The Twitch shows is offline for me. Let me refresh. Let me share. I don't know. Looks like we're okay. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. All right, let me Okay, no, we're good. We're good. Still don't have the intro video on this computer though, so we're just gonna have to roll with it. Welcome everyone to 4GwQPodcast podcast. Special Pokemon Go episode that we've been advertising on Twitter and advertising the last couple shows. We've got an all-star cast of Pokemon Go players over here. Notice that the layout is different. Number one. Number two, the HP thing. Don't be pissed off, Zazz, if you see later on that you have like red HP. The reason you do is because you are the most experienced out of all of us, and therefore have probably lost the most life. right, exactly. So that's why. If there's orange, then those people are like moderately experienced, and I'm green because I'm not super experienced in the game, but I played a ton of it last weekend. Not so much this week, but last weekend I played a ton of it. These guys have been playing during the week, and we have a lot to talk about this crazy game that's just taken over the entire world. Really, it's not available everywhere, but available in the US and a few other countries. I think the UK has it now. But anyway, let's introduce everyone who's here. I feel like that's a good starting point, right? We have ZPCI Assassin.
Hold on.
Technically making his 97th straight appearance, but it's more than that because I don't really include special episodes for that. Hope you're okay with that.
I'm gonna cry.
I think you are. We have Taylor, aka ZebbraFries, aka ZebbraFries. What's up?
Hello.
We have Captain Zazma, also known as just Zazz these days. What's up, Zazz?
Mm-hmm. So,
And last but not least, we have Clownz, who has already made a video on YouTube on his channel about this game, which we'll get to later. What's up, Clownz?
What is going on, people? This is Clownz from
Oh,
Four Guys
Jesus
with Quarters. So, yeah, Xbot has been talking to me, and I've been trying to up the intro there. So,
Gotcha.
Xbot, I hope I did a good job, man.
Oh my God, I'm sure he'll be very, very proud of that. So, Xbot, if you're watching live or if you're watching later on, please do, make a comment and let us know if that lived up to your standards. Anyway, there's this thing called Pokemon Go. Kind of came out a couple weeks ago. Kind of a big deal, right?
Nah.
I mean, only kids are getting shot at in Florida, right? I mean,
Oh, we'll get to that in a
huge,
little bit.
man. This thing is huge.
I mean, it's nice. It's nice that now that this company Niantic Labs has made a game that people are actually legitimately interested in, because they had an awesome game that this is kind of based on called Ingress. And that game I thought was really cool. Played it on my Android phone. My oldest brother played it, and he thought it was cool, and it was a lot of fun. But now they've kind of gone themed on us, got Pokemon into the fray, and it's essentially a lot of the same game, but now it's Pokemon, and now everyone's going nuts for it. So maybe like a good opening like talk about this would be, why is everyone going nuts for this? Like, why do you people go nuts for it?
You people. You people.
Well, clearly I don't go nuts for it because I played last week and not much this week. I mean, I like it, but I'm not going like crazy for it. But you guys have been talking a lot about it in DMs, and I know Taylor's been playing it, and like you guys are higher level than me, so obviously you guys are liking it.
I would be a higher level if I didn't have to work 40 hours a week, to be
Exactly.
honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I still play at work.
So there you go. So maybe you can start off then. Like, what do you like about it, Taylor? Like, you obviously play it at work, so it's obviously something you go to when even at work, like you risk maybe getting caught by your boss or something to play this game. So what draws you into something like this?
Mostly it gives me something to do while I'm at work, because I mean, I'm the front desk girl, but I do quite a few other things. But when I have nothing, no one wants to respond to my emails, I've done all my work for the day. It gives me something to do while I'm waiting for something else to come up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Oh, I know how that is. I mean, I went into a dentist's office last week for a client, and I walked in and I saw their front desk person, essentially begging to do like copying and stuff at the back of the building so they can go get that Pokemon. The front desk person was just like, "Do we need to do any faxes or anything?" And they're like, "No, sit down. You're not playing Pokemon." Like it was just really funny that like these people are finding ways to just get around the building instead of manning their posts to play this game. So I mean, I think that's funny, Taylor. Definitely a real thing going on. Assassin, I mean, I know you're probably like the biggest, maybe like the biggest naysayer on this panel for this game. So what do you think?
I think the video games or whatever mobile game is all right. I mean, I haven't played a Pokemon game in like when Crystal came out, I think on the Color. So I mean that was a long time ago. But I mean it's nice to actually come back and don't have to buy a stupid DS to catch these things.
So yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit because we're gonna have a topic kind of Pokemon Go versus Pokemon handheld later on in the show. But yeah, I think that's a huge draw to it too. Like, I mean, in the center of our screen here, we have like an iPhone. Everyone, pretty much everyone who's interested in this kind of stuff has a smartphone. Like even kids these days, you see 10-year-old kids running around with iPhones, which is nuts to me. But and they're able to play. So like the level of of getting into it, you don't have to buy like another handheld. You can just grab your phone and play it. So I will just take this question in the Twitch chat, even though it's off topic, because I do want to hear what Assassin says. Assassin, did you cry at Independence Day too?
No. Why would I? It's not even sad.
All right. That's the last off topic question I'm taking from that guy on Twitch. I just wanted to get that out there. Zazz or Clownz, what do you guys think? Like, why is this such a big deal?
Clownz, you or me? It's up to you.
Zazz, you take it away, man.
Well, I'm digging it because, of course, yeah, just like Taylor was saying, it's giving me something to do. Like, standing in line has never been more okay. But I mean, it's just a genius move, slapping something that we're all really nostalgic about. It's fun, it's interesting, you meet new people. Like, it's just a cool concept, and I am waiting for it to get more features. I think it's going to have some serious cultural impact if you don't count what already is going on as cultural impact. So I dig it.
Yeah, and I think like we're doing this special episode, and I kind of was thinking this is going to be a one-time thing just because the game came out and has really been super super popular right out of the gate. But as they add more features, we may be doing this again, guys. I mean, this game is evolving like consistently, and they're going to add trading of Pokemon, so that's going to be a huge deal. And who knows how that's going to work? Maybe you have to be like in range of someone, maybe you don't. Like, we'll talk about that definitely in a later episode. But yeah, I mean, you walk down the street and you see like 30 people walking together, like going to these Pokestops together and catching Pokemon and stuff. And you hear about people taking a lunch hour, just walk instead of eating, they like walk around and catch Pokemon. Like it's everybody gets out of the office together, walks around, catches their Pokemon. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That's what I've been doing, actually. It's basically my lunch break.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's what people have been doing at work.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely like a cultural impact. Definitely even more so than the original Pokemon game. The people like, I think a lot of people thought that original like handheld Pokemon on the Game Boy was even a cultural like social thing because like, you can link up the two Game Boys and trade and battle and all that stuff, and that was kind of not a thing back then, especially for handheld like take with you kind of gaming. So, um, definitely a good point, Zazz. Clownz, what do you think? I know you've been playing a little bit on your phone, a little bit on the computer. So, what do you think about this?
Well, man, for Pokemon Go, yeah, I think it's huge. It's getting a lot of people off the couch, a lot of people socializing, a lot of people out there together. I mean, you're really taking couch gamers and just pushing them out there and in uncomfortable social positions, which is good. I mean, look at the things going on in Central Park, in Reading, Mass. I mean, there's tons of stuff going on. It's getting cops to play with kids, going around neighborhoods, getting everybody together. So yeah, man, it's a great thing. I just enjoy it on the PC side, though, to be honest with you, for other reasons.
So, if you're interested on these quote unquote other reasons that Clownz was talking about, definitely hit up Clownz's YouTube channel. You want to give that a shout out real quick, Clownz?
Yeah, I mean, just search Italianclownz on YouTube and it should pop up because I don't have a channel name yet. But yeah, I'm putting up videos on GPS spoofing, why people GPS spoof, what happens when you get soft banned for GPS spoofing, that kind of stuff. Always interested in the gray area.
So yeah, would you say that that's gotten popular as of yet? Like, is that a really a big problem that Niantic is going to have, that they had to put in this soft ban that quickly, or do you think that was something they kind of expected, or what do you think of like the impact of that is, using the computer and spoofing GPS and all that stuff?
I think it's going to have a huge impact because especially if trades become available or selling the actual Pokemon in the game to other players, it's gonna really destroy the market value internally. So I think Niantic knew the game was going to be big, but I don't think they realized how big it was going to be. So I don't think they were prepared for all these modders out there and people doing this. And I think eventually they're gonna have to hard ban people. I mean, I hate to say it, it's gonna have to happen.
Mm-hmm.
There's players already selling their accounts as high as 750, 1500 on different
crazy?
Different auction sites. And now there's people out there using memory editors to insta level their characters in Pokemon and selling them.
Isn't that just nuts? Like,
yeah,
people are selling an account on a handheld game, not a handheld, a mobile game, for $750.
Yeah, that was the highest one I saw that day, but I'm sure they're going higher than that now. But I mean, just imagine that. Like, let's say that, for example, Assassin never played Pokemon Go, and he wants to get in there, and he gets in there a little kind of late. So he goes to his first gym, and he's like, oh man, this dude's got like 920 health points. I can't take him out. Oh wait, I can buy an account for $1,500. Oh yeah, let's do that. You know what I mean? That's the kind of mentality that they're aiming for.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely true. It's like selling the accounts on World of Warcraft back in the day. I don't know if that still goes on, but
yeah,
unfortunately, it still goes on.
Yeah, it's bad news for us, who some of us play legit and have limited availability. Like, some people drive to, like, from Boston. I've heard about people driving to New York City, like taking a day trip just to catch freaking Pokemon.
I mean,
like,
imagine being a celebrity and you have like indisposable, unlimited amounts of income. You could just like fly from here to like Sweden or from here to wherever, like overnight, just to catch Pokemon.
Oh my god.
I'm sure I'm sure it's happening, man. There's people addicted to this thing.
Oh, I would agree with you on that. So we all kind of know, like, and people who've been watching this episode, I'm pretty sure, know the mechanics of the basic game, right? You have your Pokeballs that you can either buy more of. We'll talk about the microtransactions in a little bit, or you get them from the Pokestops. And you throw the ball at the little Squirtle or whatever it is, and you try to catch it and you get your Pokemon. But a thing that a lot of people don't really even know about, which is really weird, is the gyms. A lot of people think that this game that I've talked to, not hardcore gamers by any stretch, but people that I've just talked to about this game at work and stuff, they think that it's just going around, walking around catching Pokemon. They're like, why is this popular? You're just walking around catching Pokemon? Like, what do you do? But they don't know about the gyms. They don't know about the competitiveness of it. They don't know, about staking your territory at the gyms and stuff. So has anybody here done a gym battle or a few gym battles?
I own a few currently.
All right, so tell us like a little bit about that, Zazz, like what it involves and what kind of like rewards you get and stuff.
So you got gym prestige, which goes into it. The gym's prestige acts into how many battles that have been defended there. It goes up or it goes down if you keep losing battles there. So it really just depends, and that helps you gain the ability to actually leave more Pokemon in it. Like a low prestige gym, you can only have I think starting 2 or 3, and then a higher one you can get a full 5 to try and fight through. So you go up against it. You start up against the lowest end person. You get 6 of your Pokemon to choose from to start the fight. Not turn-based at all, which is kind of actually horrible. The mechanics of the fighting are kind of off right now, with the dodging and the tapping and the special moves. But if you can manage to get through all of those Pokemon, beat a gym becomes unowned, then you can take it for your team, leave one of your Pokemon there. You leave your Pokemon there, you get to collect a bonus, which is Pokecoins, which is, of course, their version of a microtransaction, their currency. You get 10 of those, you get per Pokemon that you have in gyms everywhere. And you get special rewards like XP bonuses and stuff like that, all from having it. So if you own 4 or 5, you can collect huge bonuses. So a lot of these that people are seeing are going into it and they're thinking okay, there's no way I can beat this. It's a possibility that these people are really high level, but they give you 6 to fight with. So if you have a 700 CP Pokemon holding the place and you got 4 or 5 350 ones, you're going to beat that Pokemon. Don't even worry about it. I've seen a lot of people staving away from the gyms because they're really hard to beat, or they think that they're really hard to beat, but that's not the case. I've taken over a bunch of them at my level, and I'm not even that high a level. So it's a weird mechanic, but it's cool, because every single Tijuana Flats I've gone into is a gym, and you start looking pretty shifty-eyed around at people when you're in a massive battle and you see all 3 teams taking this gym over in the matter of 5 minutes, just going back and forth and back and forth. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It gets pretty competitive about staking your claim in that place.
Yeah. And that's a good point that you make, because I think that is definitely true about the, staying away from gyms, because you click on it and it says that there's a 700 CP Pokemon there. And people are just oh, well, the highest I have is 230 something. I'm not going to win. But if you have, a full roster of that, then you're going to take it over. Are you going to be able to leave one of yours there and keep it? Probably not, but at least you'll take it over from the person that had it, and then they'll have to go. I mean, Zazz, correct me if I'm wrong. They'd have to go back and get it.
Yeah, they have to go back and get it. I'm finding a lot of the gym owners that I'm running into are employees, where they can just constantly keep their territory. Which of course is upsetting, because my workplace is not a gym. I'm almost thinking about applying to try and make it one.
Yeah,
definitely. Just so I can hold my zone. But it is very, absolutely beneficial. It's just they kind of need to make it a more turn-based thing and make it a lot easier, to play.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you think it's not turn-based because the common person doesn't really or won't get that? Or we obviously know what that is, because I'm pretty sure everyone here has played Pokemon on Game Boy or DS or something like that. So we're familiar with the fact that Pokemon has turn-based fighting. But do you think that would turn people off because they don't necessarily understand it, and that's why there's more of the kind of mashing on the screen kind of deal? Or?
Yeah, it's very simplified, which is why you only have your because we all remember the originals where you had a 4 move set and you got to choose from that. got to be very strategic about it and buff your team up and everything like that. Where here you just have the singular and the special move. Kind of hoping that Niantic does decide to branch out where you can start really like tailor making your Pokemon, really making them your own. But for now, I mean, the button pressing is doing its job currently. It's kind of glitchy. I've had it where I've beaten a Pokemon like way like 5 moves ago, and it's just freezing up and it keeps attacking and taking out, and then it's like it'll finally unglitch and let me beat him. And I got mad too because they burned through 2 Pokemon. That guy was on 0 health, and it went through 2 of them before it finally caught the server up and was like, "Oh, you won, thanks."
Oh, you won like 5 moves ago. So.
yeah. So it's kind of, I mean, but again, we're basically like, I'm considering this almost like alpha at this point. Like, we're still a long way out, and it's still very solid as far as game. Well, server not so much, but the gym battles are pretty. I mean, they're fun. They're very fun at this point. Like, I'm having a lot of fun with them.
I just want to ask you, Zazz, while we're on this podcast, can I have the GPS locations of your gyms? In 2 days, I should be able to fight you in there. Just want to give you a heads up that I'll be there in about 2 days.
Well, it depends on what team you're on, because that really depends on if I'm.
Oh, that's true. Are you guys on the same team?
I doubt it.
Well, then it's time to create another Pokemon thing and join your team.
Yeah, I want to. I mean, everybody around here is all level 5 enough to join a team, right? Because I'm really interested in our team dynamic of what everybody picked.
Yeah, I think I'm red.
Yeah.
I think I chose the red team.
I picked the one that says develop the natural talents of the Pokemon. I don't know which one that is.
You don't know your color? That would be the most basic one.
Nice. Wow. Shots fired. I think that's yellow. I think blue is like, I think the red one is the power. I think that's the one I picked. Blue was like intelligence or something.
Yeah, Mystic Valor and Instinct.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about anyone else? Anyone else do any Pokemon gym battles that they want to add to this?
I am getting annoyed by the gyms because for every like one Pokestop, whatever it's called, there's like 4 gyms, and there's just too many, and there's like nowhere to stop and get free Pokeballs and stuff.
Really? See, around here in Boston, I don't really notice that. Like around where I'm at, probably like within like a 3-mile radius, I've been checking out, and there's a lot of Pokestops, but only a few gyms.
You know, there's a lot in Central Park. I just want to throw that out there.
Really? Did you take a day trip out there, Clownz, or a
yes, I
virtual
did.
day trip?
I took a nice little ride to Central Park in New York, and man, that place is bumping for Pokemon Pokestops, lots of stuff, like lots of Pokemon gyms, tons of gyms, man. It's awesome. You guys should check it out.
Nice. But yeah, Assassin, to speak to like that Pokestop not getting enough Pokeballs, like that is something I've heard from a lot of people. Like I'll talk to a bunch of my friends. I'll be like, "Oh, you're gonna play Pokemon Go later?" And they're like, "No, I ran out of Pokeballs at like 1:00 this afternoon." And I'm just like, "Oh, okay, great. Like, go to a Pokestop." They're like, "No, I already did. No Pokestops around here." So,
I think in like a few blocks, there's 3 of them, and I get like 2 Pokeballs and an egg, and sometimes a potion. And that's really it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing to say real quick about the Pokestops, that you don't just get Pokeballs, like you get the other stuff too. So it's not like you're gonna go to the Pokestop, you're gonna swipe the Pokestop and get 5 Pokeballs. Sometimes you only get 1, so which kind of sucks. Taylor, what were we gonna say? Sorry.
By my work, for like every one gym, we have like at least 4 Pokestops.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, same.
I mean, it's not a problem for me. So it really just depends on where you are, because I think like statues and stuff like that are Pokestops, and then places like restaurants are gyms usually.
Yeah, definitely a good point that you make, that like they've already like come out and said that certain kind of iconic places are either one or the other, or you can always count on like churches being Pokestops for some reason or something like that, right? What are churches? Are they gyms or Pokestops? One of the two.
Either
I
or.
think they're Pokestops. Yeah.
obviously around here, like I'll drive by, you know, in Boston, there's a lot of Catholic churches, and I'll drive by a Catholic church. It's always a Pokestop, like without fail. Every single one is a Pokestop. So it's like, okay, well, I need a few Pokeballs today. Let me just walk down the street to like St. Anne's or whatever and grab me like 5 Pokeballs. So I think that's kind of nice, and it's a good point that you make, Taylor, that people are finding out like what is usually what, and they can like kind of map out their, you know, Pokemon catching safari day on like that kind of route. They can kind of route where they're gonna go depending on, you know, whether they're churches or statues, like you said. So I think that's a cool feature of the game too, that kind of not a lot of people talk about too much. Because otherwise, like if it was completely random, then like people would just be walking around randomly, and you'd be like, all right, I give up. Like I'm walking around randomly, I'm not finding things. It sucks. But you can always count on, you know, these landmarks to be one or the other thing, and then, you know, it's fun because, you know, you can go back there and you know, fight against the gym leader, or you can get your Pokeballs and go on your merry day. So, anything else about Pokemon gym battles before we move on? Clownz, do you fight any gym battles on your trips to Rome and stuff?
Well, nobody was in Rome when I went,
Oh.
but Central Park, man, I tried to go to like 3 different gyms, and there's a lot of people that must have been playing Pokemon Go for a little while nonstop. I fought against a dude that had like 920 health point, and I had like 36. So yeah, it didn't work out so well. I had to run away.
Turtle in the Twitch chat says, live on a Sunday, what sorcery is this? Yes, it's a special episode. And literally every church near me is a Pokestop, he says. So yeah, churches, pro tip, churches are either a Pokestop or a gym. Like,
so that means Turtle's gone into a church?
That's pretty unusual.
See, not all churches by me are Pokestops.
Really?
Yeah, the downtown area, there's like 6 of them, and you see maybe one Pokestop over there, and then you have to like really zoom out to see another one.
Wow. It's really
Looks
weird.
like it's time to move, Assassin.
That's right.
Yeah. But I mean, it's good for like gyms, because you go to a park and there's like 3 different, you know, gyms there. I'm like, damn.
Really? See, around here, it's like hard to find it. It really is hard to find a gym. It's crazy. It's crazy how like in, you know, the Wisconsin area, there's way more gyms, because you'd think there'd be like less people than Boston,
Right?
and then the other way, you know, in Boston there's more Pokestops. Like to me, that doesn't really make sense. But I think that's cool. I think that every area having different Pokemon, different, you know, gyms and you know, density of those is really cool. I think that's promoting people. Obviously, it's promoting people to travel. So I think that's really cool. Crusader of Xbox 360 in the YouTube chat says somebody's gonna get hurt playing this game. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We have a section about that where we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, people are getting hurt indeed. So yeah, anything about the gyms? Any more about the gyms before we move on? No? All right, we're moving on then. So let's talk about microtransactions. Like, obviously this is free to play, and so there are microtransactions. If you don't want to go to your Pokestop, or you're like Assassin and there aren't any Pokestops around, you can shell out some of that good old U.S. American dollar, if you're in the U.S., obviously, or your local currency. Grab some Pokemon balls. So there's other things too. You can, you know, get a bag upgrade, so you can have more Pokemon, or some more items. You can get more Pokemon storage. You can get this thing called incense, which essentially attracts wild Pokemon to you.
Oh, that was awesome in Central Park. Yeah, I used it.
Okay, so let's talk about that real quick. So the incense, guys, is that worth it? Like, would you buy more of it? Is that a good thing to have, or just wait till you get it from Pokestops? Or what do you guys think about the incense?
Never used one, because most of the people or Pokemon by me are stupid Weedles. Like, I could go on my phone right now. There's like 10 of them by me. I'm like, great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I only have 5 of those.
Yeah, no, you do see a lot. I will attest to that. There's a lot of Weedles hanging around. I
I haven't seen like any.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I see a lot of Eevees and Sandshrews.
Sandshrews, yeah, Phoenix.
Lucky.
And Cubones.
What were you gonna say, Clownz?
I'm surprised that in Wisconsin, Assassin doesn't find like the Pokemon that look like goats or sheep or cows and stuff.
Right.
Or even
Livestock
cats.
wow.
You'd figure cats because there's a lot of cats on those farms out there.
Yeah, do you have a Meowth, Assassin?
No, unfortunately.
Oh, that's
I
too
do.
bad. Oh, Taylor has a
I got one.
Meowth. Nice. So yeah, incense, like, for me, I'll give my 2 cents on it. My 2 cents on incense. I think it's really cool. Like, it really works. I was out at a restaurant and I threw up my free incense that I had when I first got the game, and I caught like 15 Pokemon in the 30 minutes, just in one area. Like, I was in a restaurant, and I was at my table. I walked to the bathroom to see if I can get my GPS location changed so I can spawn some Pokemon. I went outside, that kind of thing, and I got 15 Pokemon in like 30 minutes. So it definitely works. Yeah.
I am impressed because I'm going to tell you, even with GPS spoofing in Central Park, I did not get 30 Pokemon in a matter of like 20 minutes. So, I mean, that's impressive.
Like, this is how it worked, and I'm not sure if it works every time like this, and they just, it was the free one they gave you, so like part of me just says, oh well, they're just dragging you in, they're just bringing you in, they're letting you use the free one, it's attracting a ton of Pokemon, you're gonna spend your money and get the other ones, and it's gonna bring in shit. But like, I clicked it, and within the first minute, like, I had like a Staryu, even a Squirtle showed up, like, out of nowhere. And I thought it was weird because I was just sitting there. Like, I literally was not moving. I was waiting for a table. And I got a Squirtle, I got a Staryu, I got like a Magikarp and a Goldeen, all within like the first 2 minutes that I tricked the thing. So yeah, my review of that is that it definitely works.
Mm-hmm.
Clown says it works. Zazz, you think it works?
Oh, it definitely works. It's a great thing, and I've gotten enough from leveling and Pokestops to never actually need to buy them.
Really?
It definitely works. If you feel like being lazy at that moment, or you're in a public place, you pop a lure on a Pokestop, or you pop a incense. Oh yeah, it's 20 in like the matter of like 5 minutes, just like you were saying.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
Taylor, you sound like pretty surprised about how useful it was. Did you try your incense and it didn't work out so well?
I tried it a couple times. I didn't get nearly that many. But I also would get like the ones that I have like 10 of, and I don't want any more of them. Like, I'll get like a lot of Pidgeys or whatever that come near me.
Gotcha.
So it does work. It just, I'm so upset because I used my last one to try and get a Ninetales that was near me, and it didn't work, and I was so sad. I was so sad.
That
So I was at
sucks.
work, I couldn't leave, so I just popped my incense.
Right.
It's like
See, I mean,
Yeah,
Taylor,
so-
this is what I was going to say. Like, if we could ever trade, I could probably give you a ton of this stuff in the future.
Clownz has just been everywhere. He's just been traveling the world. Oh my god. Yeah, when the trades come out, we're gonna have to talk about this game a little bit more because I think that's gonna change this game a lot. So, like, I do respect the fact that you do have to go out and get your own. You can't just like, go to one of your friends and get all the Pokemon and brag about it. But at the same time, like, I think the trading thing is something everyone wants. It's kind of like fundamental to Pokemon, I believe, and yeah, it's gonna change the game a lot. So we'll definitely talk about it more when that kind of gets implemented into the core game. Anything else about incense or anything about microtransactions? You guys like it? I mean, you guys don't like microtransactions, I don't think. I mean,
Yeah, but at the same time, I think this game's getting, like, from people who haven't played it, the same stigma we gave mobile games, like the stupid Game of War and what's the other? Rattle off any of them that are freemium. And this is not freemium, like, by any means. You can do everything you need to do without putting a single dollar in. No wait time, no nothing. I mean, they respawn the Pokestops in 5
5
minutes.
minutes. Yep.
Yeah.
And they could have done
Yeah.
24 hours. Like, that's awesome of them.
Don't you think though that could change once they start seeing the financial success even further?
I mean, they're
couldn't
already
they-
making their money though.
Couldn't they
1.6
turn
million
into
per
like
day.
an Activision in a sense?
And well, anybody could. I mean, that's just a risk we have to take. But so far, they haven't made it where you can pay for Pokemon. They've made it really easy to come about acquiring all the supplies that you need to play. It's not some crap paywall where you have to stop playing it for a day and a half because you have to wait for all your stuff so you can build up more crap. It's definitely not freemium. And that's, I think, what a lot of the negativity is coming from. Because, yeah, we all hate freemium games. I think they're killing the industry. But this is not that. This is way different.
Unless you live in Wisconsin and there's only 2 Pokestops and you can only get like 3 balls every 5 minutes.
I told you to go to the mall and you won't do it. So whose fault is that?
People,
You
mall
could
people.
go to Milwaukee, dude.
Yeah,
and
I
I
mean,
get
there's
shot.
Oh
not if
man.
you go to the mall there. It'll be perfectly safe. I told
Oh.
you just go to a mall, and
Oh.
you're like, no, I won't go to a mall. So I don't feel like that's...
Mayfair Mall, you can look it up. People get shot, armed robberies, people's cars get stolen like every day.
Assassin, we're gonna have you go to the mall, and then you'll have your report back on your findings and see if you change your tune on the level of Pokestops and stuff in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And the
And-
I
danger.
have to wear a bulletproof vest, like
Oh,
Vietnam or
Like
something.
anybody's going to try and mug you, Sassy. Come on. You don't look like a victim type.
Dude, look at the
Come on.
size of you.
Yeah. Like anybody's going to try and do that.
I don't
just
know
'cause you
if they
catch a
have like a desert eagle or something to be.
Just
Shoot
put
me
a
a few
cat on your
times.
shoulder as you walk around the mall. A lot of people are
No.
allergic. They'll stay away.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's doing that to you at least. I will even pay for you to get like a Cinnabon there or something if you just go to the mall and report your findings because this is a social experiment that we need to see
Absolutely.
through.
Couple comments on what Assassin just said in the YouTube chat. Poison Ivy says, "Weren't some kids robbed recently?" Yeah, a ton of people are getting robbed. So it's not like it is happening, but will it happen at the mall in Milwaukee? I don't know.
Yes,
I don't know.
absolutely. You
That-
go in
you
there, a
get-
Pokemon trainer, you come out in a body bag.
That is a really negative way to look.
Jesus.
Wow.
Jeez.
I think you just read the crime report section in your newspaper instead of like all the good stuff that happens.
Yeah,
Good
right?
stuff. There is no good stuff.
Assassin skips over like cancer cured in Milwaukee and goes right to like 80-year-old lady walking the mall, mugged and killed, skinned. Crusader of Xbox 360 says you get shot walking your doggy. So I mean that's a good point. Like if you can get shot anywhere essentially. So Assassin, don't let that deter you from reaching your true Pokemon trainer goals by going to the mall.
I think we're just pushing him more inside, though.
Yeah. I think that's what's happening. He's just never gonna leave now.
Oh, man, I think you guys may be right. But yeah, microtransactions, they're there. I think the coins are a little expensive, but like you said, Zazz, you can get the full experience and not
Yeah.
pay for anything. And I haven't paid for anything yet either, and I probably won't. But some people do like to expedite the process. They have quite a bit of expendable income, and they're willing to do this kind of stuff. So kudos to them, I guess. I don't really necessarily agree with it, but at the same time, since you can get everything without paying, it's definitely a choice. So who am I to say that they shouldn't be doing it, right?
Well, speaking of that, getting everything without paying, I just want to let you guys know something between BlueStacks and Niantic must have happened recently because I guess a lot of people are doing the emulation. A lot of people are starting to pick up on it. So now when you go into the Google Play Store off the emulated Android, it says not compatible with your device.
Oh,
And,
okay.
I think they did that to please Niantic. So it spoofs it as like an Asus something tablet that's not compatible.
Mm-hmm.
However, the ironic side of that is that if you go to BlueStacks website, they have a whole tutorial on how to bypass it.
Yeah, well, you have to think though, don't they? Wouldn't because I'm sure even though Ingress didn't have that big a player base, somebody tried to spoof that game. They have to have taken a lot of the framework from that. I tried a very simple spoof through the developer options on my Android, and it picked it up immediately. And I am lucky that I did not get soft banned from it. And I only tried going a block down the street, and it still caught it.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, the only way to do it is I'd have to root my phone and actually hide the spoof software from my Pokemon Go. But there are a lot of fail safes in place for this game because I'm guessing that was the first thing they expected was GPS spoofing. It's pretty genius.
Right. I mean, especially since you can only catch certain Pokemon in certain areas, like it was bound to happen. Unfortunately, but I mean, the software's out there, so. Yeah, I like that they kind of safeguarded against it so quickly. No offense to you, Clownz, but I'm just saying, like, you know,
I mean, you're absolutely correct. I can't blame them for doing it because there's a lot of kids that play this game. And, if there's a lot of people maliciously doing this, it's going to ruin it for the kids. And I'm not. I'm just trying to show, what people can and can't do.
Mhm.
Like, I like to always do that kind of stuff, like show what potential's there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and to on a serious note, Clownz' video, he said a bunch of times like purely educational purposes. So I mean, it's not like he's one of these abusers that is ready to trade these Pokemon that he's crewed like all of them like 1,000 times, or he's not manipulating the code or anything. Just wanted to see if it could be done, and it can be done. So, all right. Anything else about microtransactions before we move on? Assassin, you ready to buy some Pokemon upgraded storage?
No. How many can you hold?
50 or something?
Oh, fuck.
He's like, maybe then. That was like the magic number. All right, we're done with microtransactions. All right, so what about this thing, this Pokemon Go Plus device, right? People have heard about this, but they're not necessarily, 100% certain of what it is. It's kind of like a weird thing, to be honest. You guys all familiar with this?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay,
Yep.
the Pokemon Go Plus device, for people who are not familiar with it, is a little watch kind of thing. It's like one of the original Fitbit kind of size. It's a very small. We're showing it on the video podcast now. It's like a small little button watch thing, and you put it on your wrist or on your body or something. You connect it to your phone, and instead of having your phone out looking for Pokemon with the screen constantly on and burning your battery, this thing will like vibrate, right? Am I right about that? It like vibrates when there's a Pokemon nearby, and you just press the button and catch it. And the downside to it is that you don't know what you're catching, but the upside is you can play a lot longer because your screen's off and you're not doing all the processing necessarily on the phone. Am I right about that, or is there more to add to that?
That's about the gist of it.
So yeah, Turtle in the Twitch chat says never heard of it. Taylor said she never heard of it, but yeah, it's a thing and it's not out yet. They released the app first on purpose and for good reason, and then this thing's coming later. $34.99 for this thing.
Jesus.
Yeah, $34.99, and people are going nuts for it already.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if there are any pre-orders. I haven't seen any of that kind of thing, but people are like constantly bombarding Niantic and the Pokemon Go forums and stuff. Like they're bombing it and they're saying like, when is this thing coming? There's like tons of news stories about like this is coming soon. Don't worry. They're putting out like statements and stuff saying that it's coming, so people don't go crazy, because apparently a lot of people are into, I guess, pressing a friggin' button on your watch to catch Pokemon that you don't even know what it is. You could be catching like 20 Pidgeys, for Christ's sake. You don't even know.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, and I'm gonna say that this sets a precedent for people like on XDA, Black Hat forums, etc., to create a overlay app that can see what's going on your phone, basically, and just automatically do everything for you. this sets that kind of precedent. Think about it. If you have your phone up, right, and you don't feel like doing anything, you just want to walk around the movies, whatever, you keep it in your pocket, and you have an app on top of your Pokemon app that will just do everything for you, like robotically. Imagine that.
Oh, like a gold farmer on Warcraft. Now I get what you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
see
mean,
that.
yeah, and now that there's this Pokemon Plus thing that has like a kind of that set the precedent for the interface, like you said, Clownz. Why can't someone build an app to do the same thing? I mean, I don't see why not. You're right, and that's kind of dangerous. Like I thought this thing was dangerous already, but that's kind of dangerous because now, like you said, somebody's gonna set like a tablet somewhere that has a GPS in it and just have that app go into town like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yep.
Happens.
It's like, yeah, no big deal.
I mean,
we see that.
if people going Black Hat are taking the time out to just farm Pokemon Go, or they could be doing a lot more malicious things, I'm okay with it. Like,
Yeah, but see, Zazz, it comes down to the financial impact of the game and the fun level for like children that are playing it. It's gonna ruin it for them.
I mean,
You know, like yeah, so
kinda see it.
they're not like DDoS and like sites and stuff or like leaking databases, but they're gonna be destroying the financial market and over creating accounts and causing server lag.
I mean, again, we see that in so many things, though. Like, I mean, how many people just pay for gold in Warcraft can immediately twink out their character and get max level gear when they're only like tens? I've seen it a million times. It's bound to happen. It's one of those ways of the world thing that we got to kind of deal with, I guess.
And I'm sure that's already on their radar at this point, since it's already been done. I'm sure Niantic is kind of already figuring out a way to try to fight against that, and they're probably not going to catch up with the hackers anyway. Like the hackers always find a new way to do stuff, so
That's what I'm thinking.
we shall see. Taylor or Assassin on this Pokemon Go Plus thing. What do you guys think?
Not worth it.
Overpriced, right? $34.99. Just take your phone out and do it.
Yeah.
Like if I paid $34.99, I'm walking down the road. This little thing goes off, the light changes or whatever. I'm like, ooh, there's Pokemon. I press the button. I'm like, oh, I'm catching so many Pokemon now that my phone's in my pocket. Oh, and I go back and I check, and it's like, okay, these are the Pokemon you caught today. A Pidgey, a Weedle, and a friggin' Magikarp. Like, I'm not going to be excited. I'd rather have my phone out and say, okay, screw that, screw that, screw that. Change my direction or something. See on the bottom right of the screen, like, what Pokemon are in the area. That's a really good indicator of, you know, what's around and whether or not you should spend time in that area. Because you'll go into an area and you'll see, okay, it's got, Magikarps and Goldines and stuff. And you're like, okay, well, I don't need those. Like, I already have those or whatnot. And so then you'll maybe, like, turn left or, change direction. But with this thing, like, you'll be walking in a straight line. You'll be in the same area potentially. And you'll be like, oh, well, this watch is going off. Cool. Like, I'm catching 1 million Pokemon around here. Awesome. Press the button and you go home. You got 14 Goldines. Like,
Well, there is one. Wait, you guys are passing up on all the Pidgeys and the Rattatas constantly?
I mean, I've caught a couple doubles because you can trade them in for stuff, can't you?
Well, that's kind of the thing. Is like that's how I leveled so quickly. Is there's a nice little like you keep trading those in and evolving them, and you get crazy XP off of it.
You know, Zazz, real quick, can you explain to people how to do that?
Oh, okay. So the main one to do it with actually is Weedles, because bug type have such low evolution thresholds. But Pidgeys are the same way. So I go up to the mall, I pop on like a lure or like an incense or something like that. I end up with 25 Pidgeys. You're getting 3 Poke Candies or Pidgey candies per. So at the end of it, I got like 65 of them. I don't know if you guys are high enough level to have lucky eggs yet. You guys should be at this point. But lucky egg just increases your XP gains for 30 minutes. So I sit there and evolve all the Pidgeys just level 1s.
Wow.
And I can get like 20 evolutions. It gives me 1,000 XP apiece. I think I leveled 4 times in 30 minutes just by doing that. So it definitely helps. Like, I think the backbone of my team is Pidgeots right now. I got like 3 super high level Pidgeots just because they're so common.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
and that's a cool thing. Like, there's definitely different ways to play. That's actually a really good strategy that I think I'm gonna look into because like even and we'll get to like Pokemon Go versus Pokemon Handheld in a little bit, but in the handheld game, you're kind of like, oh damn, I already have a Pidgey, run, and you click the run button, and you're like, screw this, I'm not wasting my time, whatever. It's not worth the little XP I'm gonna get, but the stuff you're doing, like chaining all of those different things, the lucky egg, you're able in leveling up, you're actually gaining appreciable XP. So I mean, it could be worth it, even though you think to yourself, okay, I don't want 20 Pidgeys. It could be worth it.
I'm thinking.
See, Zazz, like, this is why we need to talk about Pokemon Go with you for like a very long time, because you have all these strats down. I would have never thought of that. Like, this is like I need to take notes here.
With all my PC GPS stuff going on, Zazz, like I've been getting a ton of duplicates, but guess what? Not using it to evolve. So I got like 50 Ratatats, like maybe 100 Weedles sitting there, something like that.
Yeah, you could easily be like level 20 immediately.
Wow. All right, we're gonna have to do that. All right. Anything else about this Go Plus thing? This silly little device that no one's gonna wear. I don't even know. If I saw an adult walking by with this thing, I'd be like, okay, come on. Like, can you imagine a guy in a business outfit, like walking around like downtown, and they've got like this little Pokemon on their wrist, this little Pokeball, and it glows like green or whatever. It's like, okay, great. Like, good job, professional. But I do see a lot of guys walking around in suits and stuff playing the game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, it seems overpriced, but I have to think about it too. It's got a Bluetooth communicator in it, to communicate with your phone. I mean, light and button, not all that expensive. 35's probably on the higher side, but if they were doing it at cost with the band, the plastic, everything like that, and the Bluetooth receiver in it, which I don't know. Clownz, can you find a breakdown on one of those, or is it like still, since it's not on the market, you probably can't find one?
A breakdown.
I want to see what's in it. If it's got the GPS communication actually in the band, which makes it a lot more expensive, or just a simple Bluetooth receiver to communicate with the phone.
Yeah, I don't think there is a legit breakdown yet, just because it's not available. But what you're saying about the GPS versus the Bluetooth thing, I'm leaning on the side of the Bluetooth thing only.
You
but
think?
I'm not 100% certain.
Well, yeah, I would,
because it does allow it to communicate without the app open. So that might mean that your GPS is not being actively accessed. And if it is a GPS, then it is much more expensive to produce than the Bluetooth. So maybe they're making this thing at cost. We don't know.
Here's what I'm thinking, Zazz, if you're talking about the watch thing right now. I'm thinking that it's probably Bluetooth, right? And it's probably keeping the app active on your phone just in the background. It's probably forcing it to stay open as a running system app or something.
You think so? Yeah, that's an entire possibility.
I mean, this is definitely more fodder for our next Pokemon Go episode.
I mean, either way, like, just for argument's sake, if I'm able to get my hands on one, I'll get one. And just see if it makes the game, because, like, that way I can definitely play and drive now without any regrets.
Good point. Excellent point.
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, and you can wear the thing as a nice little lapel. I think it would be pretty cool, like, just very easily being able to identify each other, especially for when Sassy finally decides to go to the mall, and it's like not just striking up random conversations with people texting.
Yes, you won't even have to speak assassin. See, you don't have to engage. You don't have to initiate the conversation. People will see this thing and be like, "Oh, you're a Pokemon Go player. Come join us."
Yeah.
And you'll just have to be like, "Okay."
Yeah, that's like the greatest pickup line for you too, Sassy. Can you just walk up to everybody and be like, "I choose you."
Or you could be like, "Check out my Meowth."
Oh, my Weedle.
No, I mean, I'm saying it because he's got cats, and he's always holding his cat up in the video, so his cat's like a Meowth.
I'm not holding my cats. They're bothering me by being in my face.
Oh. Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
The table's holding them. I'm not holding the table.
All right. We're done with Pokemon Go Plus. Zazz will try to get his hands on one. We'll talk about it on a later
I'll
show.
attempt it.
All right. Ivy in the YouTube chat says, "Don't waste your money, Zazz. I'm begging you."
Oh, I have wasted on much dumber stuff than this. Don't even worry about it.
Like Overwatch.
Always. Every show. Find a way.
My boy Ness Atmosphere in the Twitch chat. Thanks for coming by, bud. He says, "Check out my Squirtle for a pickup line, Assassin."
Oh man, that's horrible.
Oh, Jesus. Turtle says, "Yo, girl, want to evolve together?" Oh wow, we're gonna have a lot of these pickup lines. I feel after people watch this.
Just if anybody can just link and tweet out to Assassin all the ones that you find for him to use.
Exactly. Yep.
So we can put it on his personal TV show, and let's try and not get him smacked at the mall, please. Make him appropriate.
Kind of related is a segment that I like to call Pokemon Go WTF. Everyone knows what WTF is, so I'm not going to explain that. But there's been a lot of like crazy stuff going on because of this game. You see like cops on the side of the road playing with like random people getting out of their cruisers and playing. There's been trouble with the NYPD with cops being caught playing while on duty. Like we talked about earlier in the show, some kids in Florida got shot at, and I don't think they died, but they definitely got shot at in Florida. Did they die, or did you
I
guys
haven't
hear
looked into it yet.
I think the guy was a bad shot.
Last night these two kids got shot at because they started like walking in, like going into someone's house, which you see a lot. Like people are like going on private property to get these Pokemon, and some guy thought they were intruders and shot them. Shot at them. So people are definitely endangering themselves. The U.S. government on a private U.S. government property has put up signs now saying that if you're on Pokemon Go, it still counts as trespassing. Like legit, like these are the things that people are having to do. Also, like you're seeing people like getting car crashes into trees playing it. You're seeing Yelp. I don't know if you guys saw this or heard about it, but Yelp now has a filter on their app for restaurants and places close to Pokestops. Like if you're looking to go to a restaurant, and you're like, "Oh, what Chinese food? I feel like Chinese food. Where should I go?" You go on Yelp and you're like filtering out. Oh, I'll filter places close to Pokestops, and that's how you make your eating decision for the night. Like, just a lot of crazy, crazy stuff. Have you guys heard of any Pokemon Go WTF moments that?
Yeah. It's this game is really just bringing out the best and worst in humanity at the same time. And it doesn't say anything about the game. It says something about us. I just read the article. The kids were not hurt at all.
Okay, good.
It's from the sounds of it, the kids were almost in the wrong too. The guy gave him a warning, and they actually sped up at him, like trying to clip him with the car. And that's when he opened fire on the car, trying to disable it. He hit a tire. But I mean, the kids were just sitting out there, like, acting up. But I mean, they are putting that form in now, right? They have the form now where if you're, like, you can say, "Don't have anything Pokemon near my house," and Niantic will look at it and make sure of it. But I think we're just focusing on the bad things here. Like, it happens, guys. Come on. It's whatever.
Well, I mean, within, like, the first 2 days, someone fell off a bridge and died.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was fake. Wasn't that a fake story or no?
I thought it was real. I thought it was real.
I've heard of a bunch of fake ones. At first, I thought the body one was fake, but then I'm like, oh, hey, Pokemon's helping us solve crimes now. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. The Pokemon Go around here in New Hampshire, just like 30 minutes away from me, there was a body found, like human skulls found and stuff, because people are like looking for their Pidgeys. Oh,
so it's
Pidgey.
helping.
Oh, what did I just step on? Oh, a human skull. No big deal. Like that kind of deal.
So it's helpful. I mean, it's helping. And I've heard, like, because we're here I don't know if we're getting to the positive stories. Should I wait? Or
No. These are positive and negative.
I've heard so many, like, good stories coming out of this. Like, I'm sure you guys saw the kids with the lemonade stand where they were donating to cancer patients. They made a ton of money, too. The one kid making all the safety stuff for people. The businesses profiting because they're popping lures out on their businesses. So it's helping local businesses a lot. And then, of course, I mean, you guys heard the story about people like going and popping lures on children's hospitals since they can't get out to play. There's so many like good stories that have come out with this, but I feel like there's so many just focusing on people walking into traffic, which that's not like, pay attention, please. Like, that's not hard to do. There's a camera on if you're walking towards it, you can see cars moving.
Right.
If you have the augmented reality. Stop being dumb, and so the game gets blamed for it.
Right.
Which now that family is trying to sue Pokemon Go, saying that it was Pokemon Go's fault that person walked into traffic. You're being dumb. Like, that's the problem.
They have that warning on the right when you start up. It's like, watch where you're doing or something.
Yeah, it's like, be mindful of your surroundings.
And Nintendo's always good about that. Like, they've always, I mean, I remember playing Animal Crossing. The stupid animals come up and warn me, like, oh, you've been playing for 2 hours. And I'm like, don't tell me what to do. And keep on playing. But they warn you constantly. Like, they're so good about this game about be mindful. They make it so you don't have to constantly look at your phone even. It'll vibrate. So you can walk and not have to look at it, too. There's so many fail-safes. And it's just people... It's just people trying to capitalize on the fact that there's something popular now.
Right.
Yeah.
Taylor, what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
No, like, even with Reezy, he like hates the idea of Pokemon Go just because, I think it's just because it's popular.
Right.
Yeah.
He brought up microtransactions. Exactly. That's what I said. I didn't say it to his face because he'd probably yell at me for it. But I mean, but he brought up like microtransactions and stuff, and I just didn't say anything about it because I didn't want to hear a lecture about microtransactions.
Right.
It feels like we've been very negatively, like there's a very negative stigma behind this game when there really doesn't need to be, because its good aspects are definitely outweighing its bad, and we're hitting every single roadblock of, oh, you guys are going to get yourself hurt. I'm going to get myself hurt if I'm looking at Twitter, like, because I'm actually typing something. I've almost hurt myself on Twitter way more than I've ever hurt myself on Pokemon Go.
Right.
And then we've got also, like, you need to grow up. Well, to those people, you know what? Whatever. Go back to your day jobs and shut the heck up and be depressed. I don't care.
Right. No imagination, like no.
Yeah, it's like, creativity. I mean, this was tailor-made for us. The paywall thing is crap. Like, and this game's never going to end up killing, like, AAA games, too. So I really don't know why people are so against this game. Like,
they just hate it because it's popular.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Everything.
It's one of those things like Sassy with Overwatch, because that game is fine.
Fine-ass piece of garbage.
Wow.
But what do you like better, Overwatch or Pokemon Go?
No, good question.
Pokemon Go.
Wow, bravo.
How many people have you met off of Pokemon Go already?
No one.
Then
you gotta get out there. Yep, you gotta get out there.
You're not playing it right. I've met like 20 people already. Clownz is just spoofing, so he's a bad one to ask about that. Have you, Inferno?
I've met some people, Zazz. I have.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean, some
gray hat. Yeah.
Black hats. I met some people on a Google forum from right in Mass, like where all the rare Pokemon are. They were telling me. So, I mean, yeah, I've socialized with more people, but just not
I feel like you're being very
person.
counterproductive with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if Inferno or Taylor, you guys actually like met anybody yet off of it, but I've met a few people who were fellow trainers, and it was pretty cool.
Taylor?
I don't have time because I work. I don't get home until like almost 6 o'clock at night.
Right.
Sometimes later because I'll stop at Reezy's house for a little bit.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm at work like all day and I just don't have time. Like the only time I have is on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm playing my games on the weekends, so.
Right. Me personally, I've met a few people. Some people that know the game really well, and some people that have no idea what they're doing, but they just throw in Pokeballs and they just run out because they have no idea what they're doing. I had to like tell somebody how to actually play the game because they were just doing stuff and didn't know what they were doing. They like lost like 30 Pokeballs and like one Pokemon. They were just like throwing them, like, and they were just like bouncing on the ground in front of the Pokemon. I'm like, dude,
Like, get good,
like let me just tell you how it's supposed to be done, please. Like, you have to hit the Pokemon.
right? Like, I can throw a curveball without even looking at my screen now. Like, please get good. I don't know if you guys have been throwing the curveballs, but that's also a really creative thing to the game that they never tell you.
Right. Yep. All right, so I think that's it for the Pokemon WTF moments. I think, like, you don't expect that kind of stuff in a video game, but go ahead, Clownz.
I was gonna say another WTF moment would be, I guess maybe, I don't know if it fits in, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So here it goes.
Mhm.
You know how you gotta walk around to like incubate those eggs and let them grow and hatch? I mean, Zazz knows what I'm talking about, right, Zazz?
Yeah. You got to walk a certain kilometer. I don't like the fact that it's a kilometer amount because I'm trying to convert that. And I'm like, I thought this was America.
So
It came out in other countries that use kilometers first.
yeah, I mean, she's got a good point. You know,
they need to
I'm
convert
sure
it for me. Is
You
what
could
needs
probably-
to happen.
You also have
You
to
could-
recognize that it's in like alpha stage because it got released early because people put out spoofs of
Yeah,
it.
That's true.
exactly. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could always change it in the APK, I'm sure, if you just decrypt it and decompile it. But, Zaz, you gave me a challenge. You said to me, oh, you probably really have to walk around to get those eggs to hatch.
It's got the
probably not.
GPS and the pedometer mixture.
You're like, it's not going to work. So I took Zazz's challenge, Inferno, and I was like, you know, how am I going to make this work? How can I use a GPS spoofer and make those eggs hatch? Because the GPS spoofer, practically every time you move the marker, jumps you to one spot on the map, and you're not actually walking.
Mm-hmm.
And it can detect that. So there's a setting in fake GPS spoofer that says fake GPS location beacon, and then how many meters do you want to walk around the location? So like, I'll give it a shot. So like, click it. I put 150 meters, and now my character is like walking around, up and down the road, back and forth, sideways, a couple lakes here and there.
Mhm.
And guess what, Zaz? The eggs are going to hatch, my friend.
Wow.
The eggs
I didn't
are
think it
going
was
to
going
hatch.
to work. You
So I can
cheated
just leave-
again.
I could leave it running all
Right.
day long and do it.
That's so cheap, and I wanted it to not work for you.
Well, you know, it's not the point that I'm even going to probably keep the account or stay on it or play it long. It's
Mhm.
the point is it shouldn't work. And Zaz is right. It should not work, and it does.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of people putting them on like a Roomba to trick the pedometer.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw the really funny one today where they were like Pokemon Go hack, and they were like, "Oh, put it on the end of the plate in your microwave, and if you have to
Oh my
catch
God.
like a 10-kilometer egg, it's like put it in for 30 minutes." And I was like, I bet people are gonna do that too. People
People
are
are
gonna fall
going
for
to.
that. It's horrible.
That
It's
is-
so funny. It's
the
so
Roomba
funny.
is smart. What about remote control cars? That might work too.
Mm-hmm.
How that would work.
You guys are too much. I'm sure there's gonna be way more of these stories
Ew.
coming out because like
I'm
people
letting
are
them-
just too clever.
Someone's
like
gonna get-
drones.
Someone's
you
gonna
know-
get their phone smashed because they're gonna put
I
it
was-
on a remote control car.
Yep.
I was just going to
Car's
say
gonna run
that.
over.
Imagine that, Inferno. You put your iPhone on a drone, right? And all of a sudden, it's too heavy for the drone, and the phone falls in someone's yard.
Right.
Yeah, I could see that, man.
Zazz just drop out. Zazz, you there? I think we just lost him. We're getting him back. All right. Well, before we get out of here, just really quick, I want people to say which one do you guys like better, and which one is the future? The Pokemon Go on the handhelds, or the Pokemon Go? I mean, the Pokemon on handhelds or Pokemon Go? Like the traditional Pokemon games, or is Pokemon Go gonna like take over the world, and people are still gonna be playing this for a long time to come?
Well, it depends on the updates that they do to Pokemon Go. It really depends on that.
Right.
Because if it just keeps getting better and better, and you get better social aspects, then people are gonna go Pokemon Go, but they're also still gonna be playing the Pokemon handheld.
Right. Yeah, good point. I mean, people get bored of things when they're just playing the same old thing. But if, like you said, like add in some new stuff, like the trading already that's a really cool ad. like maybe some more items that you can use to change up the way you play, or whatever, tournaments, or maybe tournaments at Pokemon gyms or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'm with you on that.
Um, okay, you guys getting the message from Zazz?
Yeah, I saw it. I
Yeah.
saw it.
Okay, it looks like I'm good
He's
now.
back. He's back. Yep. So Zazz, Pokemon Go or Pokemon handheld?
Why are you gonna do that to me? Pokemon Go conceptually, but of course, like standard Pokemon games are obviously like gonna hold out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and I think like I think Pokemon Go. I think you're just gonna get a lot more people to play Pokemon Go in the States. To be honest with you, like a lot of more adults. Maybe not more people because all the kids play Pokemon on handheld. But like Pokemon Go, there's just I think there's just so much more you can do with the platform. And one of the things I knocked like Pokemon X4 and Pokemon Y is like it's cool and I liked it and I have a 3DS and I buy those games, but it just feels like the same old, same old. It doesn't feel too different for me than the old school games, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it kind of is because it's not drastically different to a point where I'm intrigued like Pokemon Go is. So for me, yeah. So for me, I'm gonna be playing Pokemon Go. I think more than I would be playing the handheld one.
That's a good point. I mean, and the thing too is like right when it gets stale, all they have to do is drop the Johto region of Pokemon and boom, it's like they got like 8 regions to choose from that they can just keep going and keep going. And if they start innovating more, I mean, we're in like alpha right now is what we're calling it. Like there's so much room to make this the most perfect game that's ever been on mobile.
Right. Assassin or Clownz? Pokemon handheld or Pokemon Go?
If they update it frequently, the Pokemon Go, but yeah.
Maybe if you go to the mall and meet people, you'll like it even more.
Okay,
Jesus,
the
man.
handheld version of socializing.
Or is
Unless
it?
people get shot.
Clownz, you're the final word on this. Pokemon handheld or Go?
I'm gonna say Pokemon Go because I never played the other Pokemon games. I really was never into
No.
Pokemon.
What?
Yeah, I never liked Pokemon or was into Pokemon, but I find the Pokemon Go to be fun. Like at least spoofing wise, it's hysterical. It's a lot of fun.
All right. Well, I think we're all in agreement about Pokemon Go being better. I didn't think everyone would kind of agree on that. I mean, the handheld's going to have its place, of course. But I mean, I'm just having way more fun with Pokemon Go than I can remember having fun on Pokemon handheld in a long time.
Well, what I think it is because it involves the real world, and you actually have to go out and you have to do it versus where you can just play it on your handheld sitting at home.
Right.
Makes it more interactive.
Yeah, definitely. And I hate to say this, but it also gives like a better platform, like with bragging rights. You know what I mean? You get with your people that everybody has an iPhone or an Android phone, they all have it, and you're like, oh, last night I caught like this killer Geodude or whatever, and look at its CP like 700 or whatever, and then everyone's like, oh wow, that's cool. Like now I'm gonna go out there and get myself a Onyx and brag to you. You know what I mean? There's a lot of competitive nature involved. It's not like dirty competitive nature. It's just like, it's just like friendly, something to talk about.
Well,
Office
nobody
leaderboards.
wants to engage in those conversations. They're like, Assassin, look what I caught. It's like, doesn't count. I tried telling our friend Maverick, and he's like, I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to hear it from me. It's not fair. I should share in the joy of catching Pokemon.
Because you're cheating.
Yeah,
It's
you're sitting in
no,
your
it's-
chair
it's
and you're
not
catching
cheating,
Pokemon
it's just-
from, like Antarctica.
It's proven the system is broken.
Educational purposes only, right, Clowns? That's all you gotta say.
That's right. Educational purposes only. But, real quick, Inferno, before we get out of here, there's one thing that we did miss. I don't think we talked about it. And it's the fact that there was 4 cops in New York City playing Pokemon Go. somebody reported them for playing Pokemon Go while on duty, and now they may face actual like punishment or like suspension for playing Pokemon Go. But here's what I want to say in that. I want to say like people complain that the police are never involved in the community or never come out to your community. Now you have police officers playing Pokemon Go, which forces social interaction, especially in New York City. So why are you complaining?
Yep. I mean, my feeling on that is as long as there's nothing like too pressing going on, like there's not like, obviously if it's like, all cops on hand, like, huge shooting going on at a bank and someone's like, wait, hold on, I need to get this Dratini. Like as long as it's not like that, then like, I don't have a problem with it at all. Like it takes 2 seconds to do. Like to catch one Pokemon, I don't know anyone who sits there and catch, other than this guy that threw away 30 Pokeballs that I know. I don't know anyone that just sits there and play and is there for like 10 minutes trying to catch a Pokemon. So I'm with you on that. Like, should cops probably be playing Pokemon? Like, inherently, no, but every once in a while to get with people, like, who cares?
Yeah, I don't see harm in it.
Mm-hmm.
I know Assassin. These cops are meeting a lot of people. Getting out there, being really social with the game, and maybe you should, start talking to the cops around you and see if they can help you out with that.
I got a great idea, and this may help Assassin's viewpoint on Pokemon Go. Zazz was saying you can use the lore stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
To, like, help, I guess, like, make an area get more Pokemon or whatever or not. So, outside Assassin's Farm, we should put a bunch of lures, and I can do that with GPS spoofing.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't live by a farm.
Bring them to you.
All those people traveling down that road. Oh, we got to pull over here. There's a Pokemon.
Nice.
No.
All right, well, I think that concludes our first Pokemon Go episode. I think we're going to have another one because that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. And I think you guys have all, like, actually care about the game. Assassin maybe not, but the other three, I think you guys, are playing it consistently, and I think, like, that was a good conversation about it, and there's way more to come, like we talked about with the updates and stuff, so look out for another episode. I'm sure, we'll wait for a little bit for the new features to be added, but look out for that on Twitter. We're at 4GwQPodcast, so definitely follow us on there. And I don't have our name cycling like I usually do, but I'll put it in the description for how to get in touch with us all individually on Twitter and stuff, so you guys can talk to us about it individually if you'd like. And yeah, definitely check out Clownz' soft ban video on YouTube. Just search Italianclownz on YouTube to find that.
And I just put one up on how to emulate walking around with the GPS spoofer.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right, guys. Thank you. I think until next time, catch them all. I don't know how to end it, really. Let's see you guys later.